Hi, this is Terry from Fabric Junction, and I'm here to show you another one of our wonderful 6.5-inch blocks that we've been doing. That's called Hither Yon, and it is right here in the quilt. It actually reminds me a little bit of a thread spool in how the middle is put together. Here is the pot holder with kind of that spool again in the middle. It is done like a 4-patch section. We have 2 sections, and if I remember right, these resemble our birds in the air that we've done in the past, and the other section is a pinwheel with like a square in the square combination. Now I'm going to start with this pinwheel section because I put it together not like the way we normally do our pinwheels, which normally I would make half square triangles and we would put the half square triangle together. But this time what I did is I put my sections together, cut them apart, created my individual sections from small triangles to the bigger triangle. Then I sewed them to the outer triangle, creating these. I'm going to do these 2 right here. Once again, I line up based on the outer corner, so way there, because I do know I don't always sew straight, so anytime I sew a triangle together, they get skewed a little bit. I assume my cut triangle is a little more accurate. So I got in the habit a long time ago to line up on that outer corner and let the other points kind of fall where they may, and most of the time they're exactly where they're supposed to be. So now I have made the rest of the sections for my pinwheel section. This is one of the times in which, instead of pressing to the dark, it happens to be a light, but the other one gets pressed to a dark, because that becomes the least bulky of our block. Trim my dog ears, put them back in their position so I can get my pinwheel created. And there is my pinwheel. So now this is, I want those 2 together and I want those 2 together. So that's the way I'm going to sew them. This one in that same fashion, lining up my seams. There we go. And because I know this is the way I want them sewed together, I leave them hooked together. I open it up and do a quick look to see that it's still creating a pinwheel, going where I want. Flip it over, match up that center point, getting my seams to lay. Sometimes there's a distinct way they like to lay, sometimes not. I need to watch my little X. If you have trouble getting those 2 parts to line up, you can actually go through, take your pin, put it right through that mark, straight through, grab a second pin, because once you get them all lined up, pin it, pull it, and sew it. Okay, I'm going to pull my pins, hopefully I look good, it looks nice and pretty. some of those seams, lay down, give it a nice pressing, and it goes in this position in my block. Now the other section, we have our half square triangle. I laid out the two triangles it goes to. The longer one is going to go to the big triangle. So this is the corner I'm going to match up. Is this little corner. Press. Put it in place. It goes this way, so I know this one goes here. And again. Opened up. Get rid of my little dog ear. And again, like I did on that one, I'm going to line this up on the outer, and you can see I've got quite a space there. And I'm going, okay, why am I not, one side wants to line up pretty and the other side decides it's not going to line up quite as close. So I just do a double check that my square, my triangle rather, is the size I want it. So I'm going to line this up, line up there. I'm not going to lose near as much as I thought. Okay. Still do my 1/4 inch seam because I want to cross that X. This side lines up much better. There we go. And when I line them up that way, when they're off that little bit, and you can kind of see some of that, my square probably is closer to it the size it's supposed to be. And in this case, if I remember right, they're 3.5. And right there, I'm right on the money. So it's a good thing that I lined it up the way I did. Okay, so now we have our 4 parts to make our beautiful Hither and Yon. And you know how to sew these together. We can sew it here. Watch that little X. I sew him just like I did this little one. He needs to be pressed again to make sure he stays down. Sew it together and create our beautiful block. On this one I did just a simple border, 1.5 by 6.5 on the sides, 1.5 by 8.5 for the top and the bottom, and there is my square for the pot holder. So now I want to finish up my pot holder, so I grab my backing fabric, my batting, and a piece of Insulbrite, and I lay them all down. I place my block. I do whatever kind of stitching I would like to do. In this case, I stitched in the ditch around each color, but I did not stitch across here because I wanted this to stay as a whole piece to give that illusion of being a spool of thread. Bind it, put with your loop on there, and then you'll have your beautiful pot holder. So remember, you can get the pieces, the actual cutting size for this block is on our blog spot called Fabric Junction Jewels, blogspot.com. So if you want to create this block, go there for the actual cutting instructions. Otherwise, check out our website at junctionfabric.com. If you get close to Sturgis, stop in and say hi. We'd love to see you. And thank you for watching us here at Fabric Junction.